And now your project managers can start their working day and see the summary of what's going on with not from the project list or job list, but from this dashboard, which makes we think a clear summary of what's going on with your projects and jobs. The next thing is the finance dashboard. It works similarly, but here you can see the most important finance-related information. For example, you can see if you forgot to enter receivable into some projects. You enter the project, but forgot to enter the amount that has to be paid for the client. Here is what you have. You have 34 projects, and I can click on these 34 numbers, and I can get the list of all projects that I forgot to enter the receivables. You see the amount in this example that I'm showing, the amount that I received from the client is 0. Obviously, these are mistakes that needs to be corrected by me. And let me get back to the finance dashboard. Okay, you can see if you need a PO from the client to create an invoice, you can check easily the receivables which do not contain the PO, and you can see the amount. For example, over 8,000 euro are currently without PO, so you can just go to the list of those projects and check and contact the clients for the PO. And the next thing is that you can also see how much projects that have PO has not been invoiced, and what's the amount, and what's the total amount of not invoiced receivables. Similarly, you can see the jobs. For example, here I can see that I forgot to enter the payable in 212 jobs, so it means that the translators won't get paid for these jobs, so I need to fix this. The same thing is that I see that I have not invoiced, I have not received the invoices from our translators for more than 12,000 euro. So I see the summary here in the first place. The same story about client invoices. It's easy to see how many invoices I have, how many unpaid invoices I have, how many of them are overdue, and what's the number of the invoices and what's the amount. For example, you can see the invoices which are due today, due in 7 days, due later, or already overdue, and you can just like I previously said, click on this number and see the list of these invoices. The same thing with the vendor invoices. If you here the system tells me that I forgot to pay to 5 translators and the total amount is 1,400 euro, so I can check and fix this issue. Then you have now projects Gantt chart, which means that you can see the projects not as a grid, but as a sort of timeline. Okay, let me just filter this months. Okay, not this one. Just a moment. Oh, you can see. Just a moment. Or you can see all the projects that you have to work with. And you can click on every line, on every square to open the corresponding project now. And those projects are colored depending on their status. Also, you have the Gantt chart for the jobs, which means that you can see which jobs are due soon, and you can see the graphical representation of these jobs as well. That's it about the dashboard. And the next feature that we have created, it's to-dos. We named it to-dos not to fix this, not to use the word like task, because there could be confusion with the terminology. To put it short, to-dos are any kind of assignments that needs to be done. Like I need to, for example, I need to set a task to myself or to arrange a demo of the tool, and I'm creating it, and I'm putting the deadline, and I put in the reminder, maybe some files, and I'm creating this. So this is actually the task that I have to do. You can assign the tasks to yourself and also to your to other managers from your team. And in the next versions, we are going to connect the tasks with the clients, with the projects, with any object in the system. So it will serve as a sort of CRM or system or HR system or any. So you can use you'll be able to use those to-dos for any purposes that you want. Apart from just having the object, you can set some task like check the files or remind the client about the invoice or whatever task you want to set for yourself. You can do it in Protemos. Next is that many of you have asked to customize the email templates. Now you can just create email template email template for quotes, for invoices. You can see these are the standard templates in many languages. So if you'd like to have the template, for example, let me find English. So if you feel that this email in English should look differently. Okay, let me just find some. Yeah, that's it. I can just update. I can just update it like so. To put it short, you can change the text that system sends to your clients when you create the when it creates the messages about your quotes and about your invoices. So let me go back and show you. So you may adjust templates for the quotes, for the multi-quotes, and for the client invoices. But still, the system uses the default templates in case if you do not set it up, but you can change the text. Similarly, we have added, for those of you who are using, who are generating the documents in many languages, we have made it possible to translate the service names and units. For example, here is the unit. Unit is called Word. Yeah, but it's called Word. But if you, for example, creating invoice in Russian in this case, I have to you have to make it appear in Russian document in Russian, not Word. So I just type in the how this unit is called in Russian, and then when I create a document in Russian, it will use this word, not the word. It's not the English version. Similarly, you may name the same. Similarly, you may have the same translations for all the services that you provide. For example, let me. Okay, so these are the translation. These are the names of the services that I have entered in the system, but I have, for example, to name them differently in different language. If it's in German, then it's not a translation. Then it's, sorry if I misspelled it. I'm not speaking German, but that's the example. And in this case, if you create the German document, it will use the German version of the service name. We have upgraded the reports. For example, we have added the average finances per clients. This is a very important data in our opinion, because you can discover how much, for example, what's the average project profit. Each of you has the cost of management. If you manage a project, then you pay the project manager to manage this project. So if you discover that it takes you like 20 euro to manage a single project, and you see that some projects the average profit is less than 20 euro, it means that you are losing this client and you need to do something with this. And you have to average project income, an average profit margin, how much, which percentage of how much you spend and how much you earn per every client. Also, we have expenses added to client finance report. Apart, we have the new part, monthly expenses per client by payables. It was not present here before, so we have upgraded it. We have added more different filters of different sorts upon your request, so you can use them to have even more refined reports for whatever you are searching for. Another nice to have feature is that if you are getting paid by your clients or paid to your vendors, now you do not need to, for example, here I'm showing the vendor invoices. If I have paid to several of my vendors, now I do not need to go inside every invoice to mark it as paid. I can just select all those invoices and click single button, cover selected by payments. It means that I will create multiple payments for all these invoices at once, instead of going inside of each of them and creating payments separately. The same way it works now for the client. If you have many client invoices, instead of going inside each of them, you can just select them all. If you're sure that the client has paid, and click the button to cover the selected invoices by payment. I know it would save time for those of you who are entering the payments into the system. Also, we have many minor improvements for asked by many of you. So we have more filters. We have new API methods. More data are exported to Excel spreadsheets. So and we have fixed numerous number of bugs. So I hope you noticed this. So that's basically almost everything, and also we have improved the project templates. Previously, if you were using the project template is a typical project that you have. We have added workflow tab. So if you are using workflow in your project, now you can save the workflow into a template, and then reuse it. This is one of this would save time for those of you who are using workflows. Okay, so basically these are this is the short summary of the features that we have recently added. But I would like to stop on one of the things that we noticed that many of you do not use. That's API. We have API. For those of you who do not know what API is, it means that we have you can by using the API you can pull the different data from your system and push it into the system. For example, as a simple the simplest application of this API, you can just if you have the website, let me find some website like this one. So if you have your website and you have order form from the client, you can just make use API to make all application land into Protemos instead of copying it manually. So you can connect different applications. You can make your own. You can hire the programmers and to make them connect different systems that you are using. But as far as we can see, currently only about 3% of the companies are using our API, which is a pity because the opportunities are limitless, and I'd like to encourage you to use it. And one of the examples how you may use it is Be Lazy portal, is Be Lazy service. If you are not if you do not know what Be Lazy is, I recommend you to check it. It might be really helpful in cases if you are cooperating with other translation companies. To put it short, what Be Lazy does, it may, if you set it up correctly, it may go to your client's portal, takes the project from it, and push it into Protemos. So instead of going to client's portal, downloading the files, copying the information, you'll just have it in your Protemos automatically. So if it especially works for those of you who are working as a vendor for other translation company. If you work as subcontractor for other translation companies, then you may use Be Lazy service. We are currently cooperating with Be Lazy, and they keep adding the integration with us. And this is the living account of the company. It takes the different projects from the client's portal and pushes and automatically creates the project into Protemos, into your Protemos account. So you can really maybe remove some part of workload from your project managers if you set up the automation properly. Instead of creating the project yourself, your project manager will just get the notification from Protemos that, look, the project has been created. Let me just show what BeLazy can do. Okay. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, it keeps logging me in. Let me launch some other browser. Maybe Explorer. Oh yeah. So here in BeLazy, you can, if your customers are using other business management systems like XTRF or Plunet, and you're getting jobs from them, then you can connect a Protemos to BeLazy. If you are working with big companies, big MLBs like Moravia, Landbridge, WeLocalize, and all of that sort, you can connect BeLazy to their portal, and you'll start getting the you'll start getting the system, the projects into your system directly. Or let me just show you the list of portals BeLazy is having. Oh, you see the projects from MemSource, MemoQ, SmartLink. Okay, WeLocalize, Moravia, Lionbridge, XTRF, Plunet, Lionbridge, translated, XTRF. Oh, that's business management systems that are using them currently. This you see, Protemos is one of them. So I encourage you to check the opportunity, and we will help you to set it up in case if it makes sense for you. Okay, then that's basically it. I'd like to also add that we will be arranging an individual meeting with each of our users to discover your processes better and to give you the best advices how you can use our system. But for the time being, I'd like to know if you have any questions, any comments. I'll happily answer them.
Dear partners, yeah, there is a chat box you can use to ask any questions you might have. Let me send you a message so that you can find this chat room. So.
Okay, Anatoly, can anyone unmute themselves, or is it totally under your control?
No, anyone can unmute
okay,
themselves,
yeah,
no problem.
You can speak with your voice. Just turn on your microphone in case.
Hi all. Hi, Vladimir. Thank you for this presentation. I have one question. I'm interested. You know that I'm using a lot of all your functions, including the API and BeLazy, and I'm very happy with it. Thank you very much for all the newly implemented features. What do you think, and do you have plans? I think I've already asked for this, but anyway, how to apply templates to quotes? For example, I'm receiving quotes now from my website through the API. So what I want to have a specific templates applied to some specific quotes. I can create directly projects from quotes, but how to apply the template with ready tasks in it? Thank you.
Do I understand correctly that you mean after you have the quote, and when you are converting the quote to project, you cannot use the template at this point of time? Like, okay, I'm having a quote, and when I'm turning it into the project, I cannot. Okay, let me just find some quote. The test. So Okay, let me just find it. Okay, then send. I'm sending the quote. And here, if the client has accepted it, it just gets accepted, and I'm creating the project. Or here, I push create project, and the project is created, but no template is used. Is that the problem that you are having?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So it's a very nice that you have that you have. Okay. Project template to code. I will keep template from code. Somehow we have overlooked it. We did not think that, you know, this could be the situation. By the way, speaking about these templates, so Tir, if you are using Be Lazy integration already, they should, we have added codes, we have added project templates support to API. And I was talking to István recently, and they said that in a couple of weeks they will add a possibility to apply templates in Be Lazy. So if you have some automations in Be Lazy, but you are missing projects, but you are missing templates in those automations, shortly, I think in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to apply the templates that you have when working with Be Lazy.
Yes, thank you. This is good news.
We keep working with Be Lazy, and we really like the way they respond to our requests and requests of our customers. So I encourage you to contact István, and they can they can help you explain all the benefits. And on Protemos side, we are also going to be. We would like to help you as much as we can. Well, as always. Okay, so if anyone just have a question, you may unmute your microphone and ask it.
Vladimir, this is Susan. Thank you for the presentation.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. I have two questions. One is, would you just elaborate a little bit more on the API function? And the second question that I have is it possible to actually physically process payments through Protemos, or is that something that has to be linked to something like a SmartCat or something? Thank you.
Okay. So speaking about the API, whatever, as far as I know, for many of you, you need to transfer the data between the system between different systems, because obviously Protemos is not the only tool that you are using, and if you have other system, for example, let it be QuickBooks, for example, or any other system. For example, we do not have QuickBooks, but if you have the technical specialists who can just go into this documentation, and they can discover how to move some piece of data like invoice from Protemos into your QuickBooks account. There are ways to do it. I mean, we open our API, we keep adding the methods, and if you have technical specialists who can, some programmer who can understand what is written here, so they can just make some mini app that would be synchronizing the data between different systems that you are having. The example that I have given to you is a simple one. If you have, for example, a client application form on your website, then you can make it in a way that it will land as a quote request into your account. This is the simple one. Or you can move different sorts of data between the system. But of course, this is the type of this is something that that has to be programmed extra. You need a technical specialist who would, if you have a programmer in your team, you may ask them to look into API documentations. If you don't have, well, we can find one, or we can even recommend our partners who are doing this API stuff. But
so you're suggesting that I put like a link on my website, and then that's what generates the project through Protemos? Is that what this example is?
Let me show you the example. It's not just putting the link, because it's something that needs to be programmed. Let me just show the website of one of the companies that using it. I know this. They have it. So they have order form. Like the client comes onto your website, fills in the data, and sends it. And then they expect that you will reply to them, send them the code. So in this case, we have they hired the programmers which connected this form and Protemos account. And you can do the same. It's not if you whoever has developed your website, if they should have some programmer or technical specialist, they should be able to use our API to make to connect your website and codes or projects in Protemos. But of course, without technical knowledge, you cannot do it yourself. You just need to ask your web developers to do it. Your website admins or programmers to do it. Or I can recommend a company that does it. It's not us, but they have did it for example, for Technolex. They did it. But if you have your own, it's better to use your own. As far as I know, some of you hired the programmers to build extra applications that use data from Protemos. And the second question was about, just let me, okay, Susan, could you please remind me, because the first one was about API, and the
Susan, let me remind you, please. Susan asked about an ability to process payment through Protemos.
Yeah, this is nice to have. But currently we do not have it. We have it in our to-do list that if you have the invoice, there should be some magical button like pay, and then the system should go to some payment system and process the payment. This is one of the to-dos for the future, but currently there is no way. But there are some way to simplify things, because you can export the invoices to Excel, and if you have any way in your payment system to upload this list of invoices that you need to pay, then this is the way to make things quicker. For example, Technolex uses TransferWise, so you just download this list. They download this list of invoices, then they upload it to TransferWise payment system and pay everything in one click. So I'm not sure what system you're using. If it's a PayPal, TransferWise, Payoneer, or if it's some bank, internet bank that you are using. So in many of the services, they have the possibility to import Excel file with the list of payments that you need to make. You need just to check it with your bank or payment service if there is such an opportunity to process bulk payments, because in most of the services this option is available. It's not direct payment from Protemos, but still, if you have like hundreds of payments that needs to be processed, obviously the quicker way is to export to Excel and import in that payment system and then pay it. And also, as I mentioned, there is an opportunity and possibility to use our API for this purpose. If you have technical specialists who can pull the invoices data and push it into some payment system that you are using, then this could be the automation done by the third party. Okay, I see there are some questions in the chat. Maybe I should answer them. Okay, there is a question if there is an ability to customize the invoices. There are two parts of this question. There are some parts of the invoice that are customizable directly in Protemos, because maybe Anatoly, you are presenting it more often than me. You can just remind what is customizable even without our participation.
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 second and I'll share my screen and explain what can be.
Okay. Okay, Anatoly is going to show what can be customized by yourself. But apart from this, there is a way to send us your invoice, and we can tell how much of this we can customize. As in the beginning of the demo, I was showing that now you can customize the way the language services and the way the services and units are displayed in your invoice. For example, if you have English template in English, and if you entered the unit as a word in English, but you need this word, but then you generate invoice in Russian, and you need to name it to display this word, this unit in Russian. So there is a way for you to tell the system how it would sound in Russian, the same unit. You can customize the logo, you can customize some standard text in your invoices.
Okay, let me just remove some data from this invoice so that you can see what was added then. So just a second, I've just updated this invoice. Let's re-download it as a PDF. Okay, so that's the way it looks like. So you can, of course, you add your company logo. So here's your company data, here's your client data in the receivables, the list of receivables. And if necessary, you may add some additional information, and there are several ways to do this. Of course, you may change the language of the header of invoices, this part, right? Project name, service, delivery date, address to issued by, so you can select a different PDF locale for this client. Let me show it to you. So now we are at the client profile, and I may change the PDF locale, for instance, from English into German. Okay, done. And so if you change it, so the header will be displayed in English. Also, as Vladimir showed, you can translate and you can specify the service in different language and units. So, for instance, if you switch it into German, Übersetzung will be displayed here, and the word in German will be displayed here. Yeah? Also, if you need to add any additional information, you have common nodes functionality, and you may create as many common nodes as you need, then specify the common node you need for a certain client. Thus, this additional information will be added every time you generate this invoice for the client. And moreover, common node supports HTML markup. In other words, you can highlight something in red or in bold. Let me show you an example. So common nodes and markup. So in the end, you may add something like this. Yeah. So let's check it. So as an example, so now it looks like this. I may specify a common node. So let it be this one without VAT. Okay, let's re-download it. Or I believe yeah. So
yeah,
shortly put, as you can see, yeah, that's the example. So I've added a common node here. Also, you have one more way. You may create a special payment method for this client. It mentioned as the other one, and again, set this payment method as the default one for an individual client, and thus you may add more additional information to the invoice. So that's the way you can customize it for the time being, but in the future it will be possible to add your headers and footers to every invoice and specify what columns should be displayed here. So for instance, if you don't need PO now, you'll be able to hide it.
Yeah, just to we keep adding more customization possibility to the invoices, and in case if you feel that something is missing, please keep writing to us. This is a very important part of our development, that we can improve the system only if we know what you need to improve, because every company is different. Believe me, each of you is using the system in a different way. We may not even know how you're using it exactly, but whatever you feel missing, just do not keep silence. Write it to us, tell us, remind it to us that this is what defines our priorities in the development. Because without your feedbacks, we would have been blind. We would be developing some random features that no one needs. It's very important for us to know what you need, what you miss, how you need us to improve the system.
We have several more questions, Vladimir.
Yeah. There is a question about availability calendar, holidays for our vendors. Yeah, there is such a request, such a thing, but now in the beginning, I was showing you showing you a Gantt chart. So this is a step into this direction. In Gantt chart, you can see all the in a calendar-like view of what active jobs you have at the moment. And when you are creating a job for a vendor, and if the vendor is already occupied with some other job, the system will give you a warning. Like, look, this vendor is already doing some other job from you. So we are moving in this direction. But the only one we're missing is that we need to add the periods when the vendor is not available. We are thinking how this can be done. This would be sort of unavailability periods, and this would be the part of the feature that we already have. Okay, another question thanks Arben, about allowing the vendor to add the language combination and rates. This is a very tricky thing, but we think that since it's your system, since it's your database, since it's your vendor, nothing can be done without your approval. So we are going to let the vendors propose changes. Like, for example, if someone enters and if some of your translator just enters and enters the system and changes the price, then your project manager blindly assigns the job to this vendor, then you might be in trouble because you would pay more than you expected. So the idea that we have for the future is that the vendors should propose the changes and someone from your company should approve those changes. Like, I want to make my rate 1 cent higher. They should enter, then you should get this sort of application that you should approve. Otherwise it might be really dangerous to manage if you just let them do whatever they want. Okay, another question. Is there any possibility to have a section in the main page where we can upload documents that need to be available to all vendors and they can access all the time, something like a knowledge or mini database? Good question. Currently, the only thing that is available to all vendors is the conditions of cooperation. Yeah, Anatoly is showing. You have agreement with vendors. This is the only place when you can set some conditions of payment. Maybe, or you can actually, if you do not use it as a condition, as an agreement, you can use this sort of file as a mini database. But I would take this as a suggestion. Anatoly, please write it down. Is that the idea is to add some more files to this vendor to this vendor portal and make these files available to all vendors. I think that would be nice to have. Thank you, Elena, for suggesting this feature. Okay, another question.
Thank you too.
Okay, another question. Maybe some fields like regarding the rates and the payment information could be forbidden to vendors, and other could be editable on their end, such as fields of expertise. Yeah, but we need to think carefully because, you know, different companies use different standards. Some companies let, you know, the so-called distance of power. Some companies have strict control of every step, the others allow more freedom, and we have to think about all possible options, how it could develop in the real life. But yes, we may consider that some fields are not critical and we may allow them to change. Okay, then another question. It relates to group email requests. Can we use it to send kind of mass emails for the number of vendors, 10 plus and 1? And so what is the difference between these options and tender? Currently, we do not have just group emailing. We have the tenders. Tenders is the feature that lets you propose the same job to many candidates, and then you accept. But we've been asked to add mass mailing feature, and we are considering adding it. But we will add it on one condition, that the company that uses this, if we add this feature, it will be working only in case if you use your own SMTP server, because we consider this, you know, a kind of thread, spanning thread. Then we can add this feature, but in this case you have to set up your own email server in the system to send it. Okay. Okay. Another question. It would be also useful to be able to extract statistics by vendor with the number of pages translated by each one of them. Well, technically, it is possible, but not directly through some processes. We can. There is a way to do it, but it requires some extra work in Excel spreadsheet. So if you know, if you can export all the jobs. You can export all the jobs that your vendors have done. You can enter, export. Okay, let me just put it another way. You have reports. Anatoly, could you please show the reports?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me jump in because I know what Bruce is talking about. Yeah. Thank you for reminding, but we do remember this, and yeah, in previous version it was possible to download the list of project receivables in PO in PDF format, and I've recently discussed this matter with our developers all over again and asked them to bring this function back. So you'll be able to it will work like this. We will leave export to button, and there will be two options: export to Excel or export to PDF. That's the idea. It's supposed to be.
Elena, do I get it right that your question was about the statistics within a project, or is it about the general statistics, like how many each of your vendors have translated in a year? Please specify.
Yeah.
What's...
Yes. So I'm talking about statistics over a certain period of time. So if I would like to know, for example, for one of our translators, how many pages. Let's say I want to give him a reference letter. I want to know how many pages he has translated for us.
Okay. So actually, there is a way that I would recommend you this is not directly the pages, but you can generate financial report on your vendors over a certain period of time, and by knowing how much you spent on this translator, you may just calculate how many pages or any units they have did it. So this is not the direct, but at least this is the workaround that gives you the idea. And another option is that you can export all the jobs done by this translator. If you need to find the translator, Anatoly, okay, I'll take this. I'll take the screen. I'll take the screen.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take the screen.
Answer some questions which are sent in private. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So for example, these are the jobs, and I can select specific translator like this one. Okay, I have selected. So these are the list of all jobs, and I can see here that. This is the number of different jobs, all the jobs that this translator has done.
Yeah.
The problem is that you can measure the different jobs in different volumes. Here you can see days, then you can see hours, then you can see words, pages, whatever, and it's kind of hard to combine them all into some universal unit. But if you measure it all the same, then you can just export it to Excel spreadsheet and use a simple calculation to add this clean. There's a way to clean it fast. So and just you can see the like. Okay, let me just show. If you have exported data like this, you can
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so It's not the direct way, but there is a way to do it. I mean, some extra steps, but if you really need it, and you do not need it every day, but if this is the kind of information that you need like once a month or once in a long period of time, you can use this workaround to get this information for yourself.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. It's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, let me check if we have other questions. Okay. How about receivable POs? We are able to download them in PDF version is it the best, but we can export. Now we can export Excel files which don't.
Vladimir, I'm sorry. Let me jump in. I already replied this question.
Yeah. Just let me first, but let me also explain a thing about this, about the system logic why we removed them. This is because PO is something. If it's about finances and it's about finances. So PO is something that your client sends to you, and we find it that we cannot generate PO on behalf of your client. But we decided to name this document differently. It's not PO, but it's some kind of project summary PDF.
Or the list of project receivables.
We are going to return this PDF, but we will name it differently. It will not be named PO, but it will have some other name. But it will serve your purpose this way or another. Okay. So currently Thunder function only allows to share all project files with the vendors. Would it be possible to select which files to share with the vendor? Okay. So actually, when you're creating the job, you select which files are included into that job. In this case, the workaround I would suggest is that you do not add the translatable files into the job when you create a tender, but then when the job is accepted, then you may add the files manually. But we will put note to make it more flexible. But this is the workaround that I would use. I would just first let them download the files. If someone accepts, then I would manually add the file into the system, because you know the situation that you described requires some complex logic that you define. You have to define what files are available before acceptance and what files are available after the acceptance. It requires some extra programming to make it possible.
Just in case. So it's already possible to specify whether your vendor should have access to the files at the tender stage or only afterward, after they will be assigned to this specific job. But you cannot select to which file. You may whether allow it or forbid it for all files.
Okay. Another question, Cecilia. It would be very useful to see a field with PO numbers when export Excel reports of all jobs. So, do I understand your question correctly? That by jobs you mean receivables, and when you export it to Excel, let me check it. You do not have a PO number here. You have PO number. So I have. If I understand your question right, then here is the PO number. But I'm not sure what you mean by jobs when you say related to the client, because job is something that your translators are doing for you. I think I need more clarification here. Okay.
Hi, Volodymyr.
Hi.
Can I say something?
Yes.
This is Cecilia.
Yeah.
I mean that the receivable PO, when we extract the Excel reports for all the projects or all the jobs, we don't see a receivable PO field.
Do you mean in Excel? Okay, so get it right. If I get it right, am I in the right page now? Am I in the right page? This is the receivable of all jobs.
We go to clients and then receivables.
Yeah, I'm here, and then you export it to Excel. Is that the right action?
No,
okay.
Well. But then if you go to jobs and you try to export all the jobs, you don't see that field.
Okay, jobs. You mean these jobs?
Yeah. Yes.
You want to see? Okay, these are the jobs that are done by the translators. And
yes,
POs,
I know.
POs are the ones that are sent by your clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is correct.
Okay, so the thing is that there is no direct connection between the jobs that is done by your client or the job is done by your vendor and the PO, because you see there is a project. Okay, let me tell you about the structure of the project. There is a project. Okay, there is a project. You can enter POs here. You can enter.
Yes.
You can enter many POs, like 10 POs in one single project, and you can enter the many jobs here. So, and there is no connection. There is not real connection between the job and the PO from the customer. So if you have just if you have here the job, there is no way to see which client PO is required. And maybe, Cecilia, I would suggest to have another discussion about this, because I feel I need to dig deeper to
Okay, no problem.
understand why you need and why it is that way, because I have a number of questions why. And
okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Arben, you mentioned automation via delays. What about mini automation of the projects when both client and vendor are using Protemos? I mean, automating the process without the third party. Oh, thank you. Very nice question. We have discussed it a number of times. I know that some companies using Protemos are in business relations with each other. So for example, you can be the clients or the vendors of each other, and maybe you are, I'm not sure. The problem is here, if you're using Protemos both as a vendor and as a company, then you have to log out and relog, like even, for example, here is my account, but then my client uses Protemos to assign the jobs to me, so I have to log out of here, log in as a vendor into his Protemos, and then I have to download, and then I have to reproduce the project. It all takes time, and it's not really effective. So we have the plans we call it Protemos Hub. This is one of our plans for the future, that the idea is that it would work much like Bilazy, that if your client is using Protemos too, and they offer you a job that you will become a project in your Protemos, then there should be some interface to quickly accept without logging into your vendor portal in that client's account. Okay. Okay. So I have read all the questions. Do you have any others? Okay. Okay. Then thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for your attention. I'm really impressed how many of you showed up. If some questions that you have in mind you have not typed or asked, you always can get back to us. You know, we reply fast. We try to reply as fast as possible. You can have the meeting. We can have the meetings with each of you anytime you want. Anytime you any questions, we willing to help. So just you're welcome to write us whatever you did not write during this meeting. And I hope to see you next time. Very you everyone, and have a nice evening, day, morning, whenever you are.
Thank you very much for your feedback. They are coming. For us, it's crucial to know that you are satisfied with our solution, with our support, and thanks a lot for your input.
Yeah, thanks everyone. See you later. Have a nice rest of the day, whatever is left in this day for you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.